Hey guys, it's Susie from the Organised Farm Gal. I hope you're all doing well today. I have a very special video for you which has been created by my wonderful partner Will, and he's going to walk you through the installation of our Starlink satellite. So enjoy.
So what we're going to be doing today is using a self-installation kit for the Starlink internet provider. Out on the homestead, the Australian government NBN is only available in satellite, which, I don't know, it's got a lot to live up to. It's pretty atrocious, the Australian NBN satellite, and so we've decided to go with the Starlink, which is the SpaceX Starlink. It's been available in Australia for a little while now, but I think it nearly covers all of Australia. Bit pricey, but in comparison for speeds and the response, like the millisecond response, it's still pretty good for gaming. Where we are out here in just outside of the Bundaberg, we're getting about 200 megabytes down, 30 to 50 up, and a pretty consistent 25 to 50 millisecond ping, so plenty to game on. So we've picked a spot out on the roof of the house so it doesn't shade any of the solar panels. That was quite important, and that it has an unobstructed view of the sky, because the Starlink satellite will move around itself to find the satellites. This mounting item was available on eBay with an adapter for the Starlink pole. Got a flashing / sort of stop water entering the house when we mount the Starlink. We've got to try and get that through that. Got our 25mm hole saw and the Starlink satellite dish. So I'll show you where it's going to end up inside. For anyone interested, this is the eBay listing for the ridge cap mount kit for the Starlink satellite installation that I used. Alright, so down in my office, we've run around about 22 to 24, I think it's 22 data cables, Cat6 data cables for various different devices, security cameras, access points, LED floodlights, so we can sort of automate a few things around the homestead. So this is where the Starlink internet will be coming in. Down through that gap there, we'll drill a hole through the roof, run it across the ceiling, and then down into this sort of false wall here where the data cabinet that's sitting on the ground there will eventually be mounted. The roof point that's been chosen, which should have an unobstructed view to all the low Earth orbit satellites that Starlink uses, and it shouldn't shade any of the solar panels. Yeah, didn't realize this, but if you have shade on one panel, it will throw the whole string down to that lowest voltage of that shaded panel. So it's super important that when you're mounting things, they don't cast shade on a panel, because then your output of your inverters, or the string that goes to the inverter, will drop dramatically. There it goes. It's going to go on that ridge capping there. Hopefully it all fits. Haven't been up there yet. See how it goes. Alright, so that's the first part of the installation, is mounting it into the existing screw holes on the ridge cap there, which worked out quite well. Just checking all of the positioning before mounting the actual Starlink into the pole mount. And here it is, now mounted. It's quite easy to do. Alright, pretty difficult to film doing that work, but I've got the mount up on the top of the roof, the top bit. Most of the shading shouldn't be a problem. I think there's just a bit of glare from it, but it's very hard to tell today, the overcast weather. So I've put a hole through the roof, Bit of a funny sized connector on the end of it because it's a USB-C with a sort of fat end on it. So, but a 25mm hole saw is perfect for it. It will get through, no worries. Pop that through, did some little bit of tidying up inside of the cable. Just about to head back up and plug it all in before I'm siliconing in the flashing or the rubber plate that goes on the roof to stop any leaking. So I want to connect it all up, make sure it's all working before I start siliconing everything in place. I'll just show you inside what it looks like now. Alright, so having a look up here, we've got the hole in the Starlink cable through there, and then pops back down. Try to tidy up the wires a little bit with electrical tape, and then I've popped back down through one of the frame, the hole in the frame, the grommet in it to stop any rubbing on the metal frame, and then through the wall plate there, and I'll get a little bullnose plate that will go over it so we can just pop through when the plaster turns up. And then on the end of that will be an Ethernet adapter. Purchase them from the Starlink shop, which will convert it so I don't need to use the Starlink modem. I can use my own routers and that throughout the house rather than the Starlink one. Not that there's anything wrong with the Starlink one, it's just doesn't throw the biggest Wi-Fi, and I've got some plans for access points around the property, and that really won't work too well. So let's plug it all in and see what sort of speeds we get. Alright, so everything's plugged in now, and I've done a fine job of siliconing everything together. I gave the USB plug into the base of the pole mount a little bit of silicone just to secure it a bit more. Modem's all connected and turned on. The first speed test I was pretty happy with, 140 down and 13 up with a 60-second ping. I gave it a little bit of time to settle down, and then I tried another speed test and hit 205 and about 10 up. Really happy with that for where we are compared to the Australian NBN satellite, so it's going to be a game changer. This last one here is just of this Starlink speed test that's included in the app. Alright, so there we go, all installed and all up and running. If you have any questions, post them down in the comments. We're happy to answer them for you if you need any help with your installation.